We welcome you this afternoon to the spring semester 1998 graduation ceremonies at Baylor University. We're glad that you're here. Graduates, you are to be congratulated, and family members and friends of these graduates, I know that you are excited and anxious for this moment. You're thrilled about it, and in fact, I could tell as they came in that you're already bursting at the seams to give them a congratulatory word. Would you do that? Graduates, we are proud of you and thankful for you. We know that you've worked hard and long, some of you probably longer than others, but we know that this is an exciting day for you, an exciting day for your families, and we join you in the thrill and joy of the day. I want to recognize some of the platform guests who are with us today. It's a very special occasion for us at Baylor. We have, for example, on the stage a number of the Baylor University regents who are present, and I'd like to ask these please to stand so that you can recognize them and express appreciation to them for their service to the university. On the stage to my right, the chairman of the Board of Regents, Fred Cameron. Mr. Cameron, would you please stand? Regent. Others, we have Regent Emeritus Winfred Moore, Dr. Will Long. Would you please stand? And then to my left, Senator David Sibley, Dr. Red Covington, and Mrs. Jacqueline McFarland. Would you please stand? We may have other regents who are present as well. These individuals work arduous hours for the university. They do much on our behalf, and usually, of course, their results are not their names are not publicly expressed, but I assure you they work long and hard on your behalf and on behalf of Baylor University, and we're appreciative to them for all that they do. And then, of course, we have some very special guests on the platform today who are going to be recognized during the ceremony. Governor George W. Bush and First Lady Laura W. Bush. Would you please stand? And then our mace bearer for the day. It has been the custom here at the university for a retired faculty member to bear the mace, and today Mary Tyndall, Emeritus Associate Professor of Health, Human Performance, and Recreation, who taught for some 40 years here at the university, has carried the mace for us. Professor Tyndall, would you please stand? You'll see a description of the mace on page 19 of your printed program. It's an interesting, I think, description, and there's other information related to the commencement program there on page 19, so we invite you to read that. If you have any special needs during the ceremony, there's information there provided for you. I'd like to do something very special at this service, and that is to single out one member of the Marshall team for special recognition. Dr. Elmer Duncan, would you please join me here on the platform? Bud Duncan, as all of us know, is professor of philosophy, has served faithfully here at the university for many years, is not retiring from the university, but as many of you also know, Bud has been for the last 15 years the chief marshal for commencement services. I know the faculty marshals know, and ushers and others, indeed all of our faculty, know the kind of work, Bud, that goes into a process such as this. Bud wrote to me this past semester and asked if he could be relieved of these duties. He has served long and hard as the chief marshal for some 15 years. I truly think there is not another extracurricular activity or responsibility here at the university any more difficult or challenging than being the chief marshal for our commencement ceremonies. I want to read you just a sentence or so out of the letter that Professor Duncan shared with me when he wrote to me this past spring. He said, quote, "In all my years at Baylor, no task I've had here has been as fulfilling to me as that of being chief marshal. I love grand public ceremonies, and seeing my students one last time also has been important. There's something about working with more than 50 faculty to make it all go just right." Bud, that is absolutely the case. Not only have you expressed what so many of us feel about the opportunity to serve the students of Baylor, but I think all of us can say of you that there is no one who has showed greater attention to detail. There's no one who not only enjoys seeing things go just right more than you, but I can't imagine anyone else making things go any more right than you have. Thank you for your service to the university. I want to recognize as well Dr. Joyce Jones, who always honors us with her outstanding skills at the organ. She is our organist in residence. She is the Joyce O. Bowden Professor of Music. Dr. Jones, thank you once again for all that you do for the university and for playing for us this afternoon. I'm sure you'll notice in your program also that the prelude was played by Joel Bacon, a very outstanding student at the university, and Professor Jones sees that as a great opportunity for those students who are graduating and who have done such outstanding work in study here at the university. Dr. Hugh Sanders is the Ben Williams Professor of Music and is the Director of the Institute for Church Music and Worship. He will now lead us in singing the national anthem. At the conclusion of the national anthem, please remain standing for the invocation, which will be given by Jim Dinsman, pastor of the First Baptist Church of Hollis, Oklahoma. Reverend Dinsman's daughter, Sarah, will receive her BBA degree today. Professor Sanders.
May we pray. Our Father, as we gather in this place and in your name, we do so with the words of the psalmist fresh on our minds. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. Indeed, on this most special day, we are keenly aware of your great goodness, and so it is with gladness that we do express to you our heartfelt thanks today. We thank you first for this joyous occasion, the culmination of so many hopes, dreams, so much hard work, and the answer to so many prayers. We thank you, too, for this great university, my alma mater. We are grateful beyond words for such a magnificent place for our children to live, learn, and grow. We also thank you for this wonderful faculty who have heard your call and have dedicated their lives to preparing young men and women for the future. For the many friends, family, and distinguished guests whose presence here this day is an honor, a privilege, and a joy, we also give you thanks. And then for the graduates, learned, talented, and gifted each and every one, we thank you so much for them. Through their years here at Baylor, they have gained the knowledge to face life. But now, Father, I pray that you would add to their knowledge the wisdom that only comes from you in order that they may learn how to live life to its very fullest. But most of all, we give you thanks this day for your unfailing love demonstrated to us through Jesus Christ our Lord. And now upon this commencement and the thousands assembled here, I pray that you grant your benediction, protection, and peace. These things I pray in the wonderful name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Fred Cameron has served Baylor University in many ways. He came here as a student, is a graduate of the university, has served on the Baylor Board of Regents for a number of years, and now just recently has been elected chairman of the University Board of Regents. Mr. Cameron, would you come at this time to bring greetings to our graduates on behalf of the entire University Board?
Governor and Mrs. Bush, fellow regents, President Sloan, faculty, graduates, families, and friends, on behalf of the Board of Regents of Baylor University, I welcome you to this joyous occasion. We congratulate the graduates for having attained this milestone in their lives. We thank the families for entrusting these students to us at Baylor for this experience and for the sacrifices that many of you have made to make this day happen. And we thank the faculty for the teaching and shepherding and mentoring that they have given these students over the years. This is a new day for the graduates. I wish you great success. I challenge you with these words of Paul the Apostle. But one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. God bless you. Come back to Baylor soon and often. Thank you.
We now come to a very special part of the program where Baylor University is privileged to recognize two Texans who have committed their lives to service. Would Governor George W. Bush and First Lady Laura W. Bush please come forward? Governor, we understand that this is your third commencement within 24 hours. So we are especially grateful that you've arranged your schedule to be here with us today. Governor and Mrs. Bush have been very generous in offering their time to Baylor really for several years. A couple of years ago, the governor was the Grand Marshal of the Homecoming Parade and has been on campus on numerous other occasions and for numerous other events. Mrs. Bush has actively headlined several of our School of Education activities in her support of literacy. Governor Bush, First Lady Laura, it is an honor to have you back on campus today. To assist me in the presentation of these two very special awards, first the honorary Doctor of Laws degree, and then the very special award that the university seldom gives, but does so proudly on this occasion, the Alumna Honoris Causa Award. I've asked our Provost, Don Schmeltikoff, and Regent, Texas Senator Dr. David Sibley, to assist me in the presentation of these special awards. George W. Bush, 46th Governor of the state of Texas, has distinguished himself in the public forum as a leader who combines effective principles of governance with compassionate and humanitarian policies. The leadership Governor Bush has demonstrated in public life was prepared for and has been shaped by his personal life. He grew up in Midland and Houston, Texas, in a family which has always exhibited a commitment to serving others, whether in private life or in public service. He received his undergraduate education at Yale University, graduating with a bachelor's degree in history. After serving as a pilot for the Texas Air National Guard in the late 1960s, he then entered graduate work at Harvard University, where he completed a master's degree in business administration. In 1975, he founded an oil and gas company in Midland. In 1988, he served as senior advisor during the successful presidential campaign of his father, George H.W. Bush. From 1989 to 1994, he was managing general partner of the Texas Rangers baseball organization, and during that time, he was instrumental in the construction of the new stadium, the ballpark in Arlington. He has focused much of his time and energy on concerns related to education. He has served on the boards of various charitable, business, and civic organizations, and he and his family are active members of the United Methodist Church. Governor Bush, it gives us a distinct sense of honor and privilege to say to you that as a committed Christian, devoted husband and father, you have been a tireless contributor to Texas and Texans as both a private citizen and a public servant. It is a privilege to bestow upon George W. Bush the honorary degree, Doctor of Laws, May 16, 1998, Baylor University. My privilege likewise at this time to present this, we believe, very beautiful framed diploma expressing the degree that has been conferred upon you, and most of all expressing our deep and abiding appreciation to you for all that you have done on behalf of Baylor University, but especially, of course, on behalf of Texans. It's likewise a distinct privilege for the university to present another award. As I indicated earlier, the university very infrequently gives the following award, but it does so in very unusual and special cases where we believe the honoree has served in an outstanding way and has brought great credit not only to the individual, but particularly has lived a life of service. Don Schmeltikoff will now come, our university provost, and read the award related to the Alumna Honoris Causa for Laura W. Bush.
Laura W. Bush has devoted herself to causes important to Texas and Texans and has demonstrated her interest in and commitment to humanitarian causes, particularly in the fields of child welfare and literacy. Mrs. Bush was born and reared in Midland, Texas. She received a Bachelor of Science in Education from Southern Methodist University and taught at John F. Kennedy Elementary School in Houston. She earned a Master of Library Science degree from the University of Texas at Austin and served as a librarian in the public library system of Houston and at Dawson Elementary School in Austin. In 1977, she married fellow Midland citizen George W. Bush. They are the parents of twin daughters, Barbara and Jenna, born in 1981. In Dallas, Mrs. Bush served on the board of directors for Friends of the Dallas Public Library, Child Protective Services Community Partners, and Brian's Friends, an auxiliary of Brian's House, a home for children with AIDS. Since her husband's election as governor of Texas, Mrs. Bush has worked to promote Texas authors and artists, sponsoring exhibitions to showcase Texas artists, collecting historic Texas paintings for the state capitol, and staging readings for Texas writers. She is the founder and honorary chair of the Texas Book Festival, a celebration of Texas writers and a fundraiser for Texas libraries. She is also active in children's literacy programs, including the First Lady's Family Reading Initiative for Texas. She has worked to raise awareness of education issues and of women's health issues, particularly breast cancer prevention and research. Devoted wife and mother, committed Christian and humanitarian, Laura W. Bush exemplifies the life of community service and social responsibility. It is a privilege to bestow upon Laura W. Bush the designation Alumna Honoris Causa, May 16, 1998, Baylor University.
Likewise, this framed representation of the award that you've received, First Lady Bush. Again, we are extremely honored that you are willing to receive from the university this designation of Alumna Honoris Causa.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jerry.
Baylor University is blessed to have a caring faculty devoted to teaching excellence, a faculty devoted to students, to scholarship, to service, but again, most of all, to our students. Each year, the university recognizes some of our own who have excelled particularly in these areas. Tom Hanks, chairman of the Outstanding Faculty Selection Committee, will now present the recipients of this year's awards.
Will the recipients of the Outstanding Professor Awards please come forward? President Sloan, on behalf of the Selection Committee for Outstanding Professors, it is with great pride that I present these deserving faculty members who today are recognized for their exceptional contributions to the university. Their selection is the culmination of a rigorous process that began with nomination by their peers at the departmental level, continued by their designation as their individual college or school's nominee, and was finally completed by their selection in secret balloting by the University Selection Committee. They certainly deserve the recognition and great honor accorded by their designation as outstanding professors. Each of these outstanding faculty members will receive a citation and a check for $2,500. Additionally, their names will be added to a commemorative plaque, joining the names of all those who have been previously recognized as outstanding faculty at Baylor University. Receiving the award for outstanding teaching by a tenured professor in the schools of music, education, nursing, or the library is Professor Michael Ard of the School of Music. Receiving the award for outstanding teaching by a contract or lecture or non-tenure track faculty member is Professor Douglas Claybrook of the School of Music. Receiving the award for outstanding teaching by a non-tenured tenure track faculty member is Professor Ruth Ann Foster of Truett Seminary. Receiving the award for outstanding research is Professor R. Dwayne Ireland from the School of Business. Receiving the award for outstanding teaching by a tenured professor in the schools of business, law, and engineering and computer science is Professor J. William Petty from the School of Business. Receiving the award for significant contributions to the university in an area or areas other than teaching or research, tenured or non-tenured, is Professor William B. Poucher from the School of Engineering and Computer Science. Please join me in once again congratulating these outstanding faculty members.
Thank you, Professor Hanks, for introducing those. And let me say as well that Tom Hanks was the recipient of a very special teaching award that is awarded by virtue of the election of the senior class. That award was given at the earlier ceremony, but that is the Collins Award for the outstanding university teacher for 1998. So, Professor Hanks, congratulations to you as well. Two faculty members in the School of Engineering and Computer Science have retired during this academic year, but unfortunately, neither of them were able to be here today. They're getting into the retirement mode already. Dr. Giles Willis retired at the end of the fall semester and is now in North Carolina. Dr. Jim Warren, who chaired the Department of Engineering, had a long-standing commitment to attend a family reunion this weekend. Even though they are not here today, I commend them to you for their dedication in the establishment of the engineering major, which was offered initially through the College of Arts and Sciences. Through the leadership of Dean Barganer and the engineering faculty, the School of Engineering and Computer Science was organized in 1995. Would you please join me in expressing sincere appreciation to these two retiring faculty members and to the entire faculty of the Department of Engineering for their contributions to the lives of our students and to Baylor University. Let me introduce those who will bring at this time the special music for our ceremonies today. Jennifer Robertson, flute, Gary Don West, oboe, Lisandro Garcia Montoya, clarinet, Michael Garza, bassoon, and Eric Overholt, horn. These students will receive degrees from the School of Music today. They will perform Quintet Number 3 in F major. Thank you so much. We're grateful to you. Regents, graduates, fellow faculty members, Baylor University staff and guests, I'm honored and pleased today to introduce to you the Governor of the state of Texas, Dr. George W. Bush, to bring the message to the graduates.
President Sloan, members of the Board of Regents, distinguished faculty, family, friends, and especially the class of 1998, thank you for having me. I know this is a proud day for you, as it should be. But it's a proud day for me, too, and a proud day for Laura. I can't tell you how thrilled I am to have received an honorary degree from this most distinguished university. And I really appreciate you all honoring the greatest First Lady our state has ever had. This honorary degree comes in a little different setting than the first time I received an honorary anything from Baylor. The first time that happened during the homecoming parade, when I was made an honorary member of the Nose Brothers. Now I want you boys to go back and repaint the bear pit that you painted pink. And I really don't want you disrupting this ceremony today. Today marks the culmination of years of hard work for the class of 1998. Many years of juggling commitments, and many years of circling this campus looking for a place to park. I congratulate you for your accomplishments. Now go get a job and pay your parking tickets. Congratulate your parents who are here today. Your love and dedication have made this day possible. Your sons and daughters could not have arrived at this moment without your sacrifice, your help, and your constant belief in their hopes and dreams. Today belongs to you as much as it does to the graduates. You're broke, but happy. As the class of 98 leaves this campus, you take with you many treasured memories. Memories such as sleeping in on Sunday mornings, then dressing up to go to the cafeteria so everybody thinks she went to church. And I know most of you all will miss the chapel forum, Baylor's answer to Sominex. And finally, the class of '98, you leave here knowing that you saw something not seen in Baylor for 150 years. You witnessed the miracle on 5th Street, when the fighting Baylor Bears became the dancing Baylor Bears, and proved that you can shake, shimmy, and shuffle with the best of them. And leading the pack, of course, was President and Mrs. Sloan, who, by the way, do a pretty mean jitterbug. Like any other graduation speaker, I want my words today to be relevant. So when I began preparing, I thought back to the speeches of my own graduations. I tried to recall some sage advice that has stuck with me throughout the years, some kernel of wisdom that I could pass along to you today. Truth is, I don't remember any kernels of wisdom. I can't even remember who the speakers were. All I remember is they were too long. So I'm under no illusions. Realize many of you at this moment are politely listening, but in fact really thinking about the big party tonight. So, this is going to be a short speech. The world you're about to enter is really different from the one that greeted me in 1968. When I graduated from college, surfing was something you did at the beach on a board. Today, we surf at the computer on the internet. When I went job hunting, I competed with students from around Texas and maybe a couple of neighboring states. Today, your competition includes graduates from around the world. Free trade is creating new economic opportunities, the likes of which we have never seen. And people worldwide are courageously saying no to tyranny and government oppression, and yes to freedom and democracy and the marketplace. It's a really exciting time, a time of tremendous change and opportunities. And as both people and markets become more free, this world will shrink and be even smaller than it is today. In our world, just imagine, you can have breakfast in London, you can have a teleconferencing with people in Beijing, and you can get on a jet and come back and see the Mighty Rangers play baseball. But while the world around us is rapidly changing on a minute-by-minute basis, some things will never change. Some things will be constant and true. Abraham Lincoln learned that during the Civil War, one of the most chaotic periods in our nation's history, that faced with enormous challenges of running a country at war with itself, he discovered that decisions came easier when he stuck to ideals. He once illustrated this point with a story about a young friend who was frightened by a sudden meteor shower. Lincoln reassured his friend, urging him to look beyond the shooting streaks of light to the fixed stars twinkling serenely in the heavens. Let us not mind the meteors, Lincoln said, but let us keep our eyes on the stars. And so as you leave here with your diplomas and your dreams, my hope is that you will not be dissuaded or confused by life's meteors crashing about you, but that you will stay focused on some fixed stars as your guide. First, no matter how much technology advances, you'll do business with people, not machines. Everyone deserves to be treated with respect and dignity, and it's important to listen and to respect the opinions of others. You can understand another's point of view without sacrificing your own principles and beliefs. I hope you will also view each person as an individual who has a soul, not someone to be lumped into some group or category based upon what they look like or where they're from. If Texans are known for nothing else, it should be that we judge each person based upon potential and heart, that we give each person a fair shot at achieving his or her dreams, whether in our public institutions or our private lives. Secondly, while recognizing the worth of other people, give yourself the same courtesy. Great decisions in life spring from the heart, Trust your instincts. Do not be afraid of failure or success. Thirdly, you're responsible for yourself, and you're responsible for what you do in life. About the time I graduated from college in the 60s, the culture of our country began to change dramatically. We questioned everything: our faith, our values, and our moral standards of behavior. The rallying cry became, if it feels good, do it. Individuals are not responsible for their actions, went the thinking. We are all victims of forces beyond our control. But our society has paid a dear, dear price for this cultural shift. Today in our society, males father children and simply walk away to let others deal with the consequences. A second and third generation of Americans are dependent upon a welfare system that saps the soul and drains the spirit of our very future. And random violent juvenile crime is exploding, and criminologists warn of a new generation of super predators, children who are jobless, fatherless, and godless. To restore peace and civility to our neighborhoods and to our state and country, we must change the culture again, not backwards, but forward to a culture based upon individual responsibility and shared values, values that have stood the test of time. Love your neighbor like you'd like to be loved yourself. Give an honest day's work for an honest day's wages. Do not lie. Do not cheat. Do not steal. Respect others. Respect their property and their opinions. And always remember, it is you who's responsible for the decisions you make in life. Fourthly, baseball should always be played outdoors, on grass, with wooden bats. Fifth, while the world may be changing dramatically, always remember that families are the backbone of our society. Families must endure forever. In our families, we find love, and we learn the compassionate values essential to make us good citizens of the world. When the time comes to start your own families, I hope that each and every one of you will strive to build not just a house, but a home. It takes hard work and dedication. Just ask your parents. But home is where our hearts find peace, and home is where our dreams take wing. You may be thinking, what's he talking about, starting a family? The only thing I'm focused on is finding work. Let me tell you this, and you'll listen to me. When you have a child, you'll learn this. By far, the most important job you'll ever have is to be a good mom or a good dad. Sixth, you may want to write this down. I have learned that no matter how old you are, what you do, you can never escape your mother. I learned that in Fredericksburg, Texas one weekend. I was there with 30,000 other Texans and a few Americans. My mother was there, my dad was there, Laura was there, and I had been asked to speak to welcome the folks to this celebration to honor the 50th anniversary of the end of the Pacific Theater in World War II. It was a big deal. It was a chance to say thanks to the moms and dads of my parents' generation for the incredible freedom we have in Texas and America. And I said, Mr. President, welcome, and there was a nice ripple of applause. And I said, would you welcome my mother? And the place went wild. And I said, Mother, it is clear the people here in Texas still love you, and so do I, but you're still telling me what to do after 50 years. And a guy in a big cowboy hat steps out in the middle of Main Street, Fredericksburg, cups his hands and screams at the top of his lungs, and you better be listening to her too, boy. I do listen to her a lot. And one of the things she has taught me is the final and most important fixed star I hope you will keep in mind. God exists today, and God will exist forever. I am convinced that to truly change America, we must need a renewal of spirit in this country, a return to selfless concern for others, for duty and country. We must let faith be the fire within us. Government can hand out money, but it cannot put hope in our hearts or a sense of purpose in our lives. A successful career will most likely put a fancy car in your driveway, but it cannot fill the spiritual well from which we draw strength every day. Only faith can do that. I hope you will be a part of a renewal of spirit as you begin your careers and to put to work the degrees that you have worked so hard to earn. Now, I know some of you today are planning to become teachers, and I'd like to thank you for that. You have chosen a profession that may not be full of all kinds of wealth, but the fruits of your labor will stand to make us, a state and a nation, very wealthy. Our children are the faces of our very future, and those who choose to teach will impact that future in a very, very profound way. Yours is a noble calling. As one famous Texan, Sam Houston, pointed out many years ago, Houston was a war hero, a teacher, the president of the Texas Republic, a United States senator, and the governor of 2 states. Near the end of his life, one of his friends asked, of all the titles he's held in his lifetime, which one had meant the most to him? And Houston, without hesitation, replied, teacher. But teaching is more than something done in a classroom. Teaching is something we all should do every day of our life. Teach our children decency. Teach them to be responsible for the actions they take. And teach our neighbors that we love them by doing an act of kindness. A moment ago, I mentioned my predecessor in the governor's Texas mansion, Sam Houston. He's an amazing guy, a Texas hero. But what most people don't know is that his life could have turned out much differently. He wrestled with self-doubt. He wandered for years looking for direction. He was twice driven from public office in disgrace, and he struggled with an addiction to alcohol. The turning point for Houston came one day when, drunk and physically spent, he looked into a mirror and saw a reflection of a man he no longer respected. That very day, he vowed to turn his life around, and he did. And our history is richer for it. My final hope is that you will follow your dreams, that you will keep your eyes on fixed stars. But most of all, I hope, when you look in the mirror, you will always be proud of what you see. Congratulations to you all. God bless you both.
Thank you, Governor, for calling us to those fixed stars that guide life. The university's provost, Dr. Don Schmeltikoff, will now assist me with the conferral of the degrees. Dr. Schmeltikoff.
Will the candidates for the various bachelor's degrees please rise? President Sloan, the candidates standing before us have completed the requirements for the various bachelor's degrees as printed in the commencement program. Upon the recommendation of the faculty of the professional schools and their respective deans, I present them for the conferring of their degrees.
Based upon the recommendation of our Provost, Don Schmeltekoff, the deans, and the faculty of the professional schools, and their certification that each of you has completed the requirements for your respective degree, I'm pleased and privileged by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of Baylor University to confer your baccalaureate degrees. Congratulations. Now all of you, except for those in the School of Engineering and Computer Science, may please be seated. At this time, I want to call on James Bargainer, Dean of the School of Engineering and Computer Science, please to come forward to begin the diploma ceremony.
In this day and time when it seems technology is encroached on every area of our life, it's critically important that the people who are building that technology have a much broader view of our society and the effects of their work on society. They not only need to be professionals in their field, but they must care deeply about society. This is the latest group of graduates of computer science and of engineering who not only have that broader view, but also have a dedication to a life of service. And I'm proud to ask you to come forward to receive your diplomas. This group are receiving the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Brett David Battinger. Mark Anthony Beltran. Daniel Lee Benson. Brian Matthew Bidwell, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, cum laude, highest ranking student in the School of Engineering and Computer Science. Ronald Selwyn Bovell, Jr. Mark Chalaparamble. Lisa Marie Ezra. Darren Glenn Helgren. Victor Antolovich Ivanov. Peter Daniel Powers. Fred Allen Stelter. Amanda Elizabeth Stewart. This group of graduates are receiving the Bachelor of Science in Engineering. Kent Earl Beeson. Jill Ellen Elizabeth Bodoff. Christopher Bradley Howard. Patrick Shane Heinen. Hans Frederick Tharp. Stephen Garrett Vandekeep. Adrian Elise Whitworth. Kwok Yin Wong.
This time I would like to invite Marvin Lamb, Dean of the School of Music, to join me at the podium. As many of you know, Dean Lamb has accepted a position as the Dean of the School of Fine Arts at the University of Oklahoma. Marvin, I want to take this opportunity to thank you publicly for your many contributions over the last 9 years to the School of Music and to the larger Baylor community. The School of Music is truly one of our centers of excellence. I appreciate your leadership in building upon the strengths of the School of Music to bring Baylor to this level. We will miss you deeply. There are many of us here who call you friend and colleague. We hate to see you go, but we offer you and your family all of our very best wishes as you accept this new challenge. Dean.
Thank you. Will the candidates for the degrees Bachelor of Music and Bachelor of Music Education please stand? President Sloan, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Music, it is a privilege and a personal honor as well to present these candidates for their respective degrees. Will the candidates please come forward at this time? The following students will receive the degree Bachelor of Music. Robert Preston Bobo. Noah Stephen Bunker, cum laude. N. Mason Conklin, summa cum laude. Paul Brian Cotton. Brent Andrew Dyer. Jennifer Brooke Estes. Alessandro Garcia Montoya. Michael Ronaldo Garza, magna cum laude. Benjamin Ethan Gatsky. Kenneth Randall Howard. Anna Catherine Jessup. Noel Anthony Martin. Amy Lewis Meppin, summa cum laude. Jason Keith Milam. Benjamin Gregory Moore. Eric R. Overholt, magna cum laude. Michelle Lynn Scarrett. John Franklin Stevens. Kelly Baker Stewart. Michael Edward Stewart. Brian Christopher Towndrow, summa cum laude. Gary Don West, magna cum laude. The following students will receive the degree Bachelor of Music Education. Jana Michelle Alley. Jeremy David Barber. Teresa Gail Bennett. Julie Noel Blackstock. Jeffrey Barrett Francis. Barton Earl Gilliland. Jennifer Lee Kress. Catherine Pitts Kyle, magna cum laude. Laura Ann Musney, summa cum laude, highest ranking student in the School of Music, graduating with a 4.0 GPA. Rebecca Kathleen Patterson. Adam Troy Powell, magna cum laude. Susan Emily Stanton, summa cum laude. Nathan Douglas Wood, cum laude. Martha Lori Yates. Brian Edward Zader.
From the School of Business, Dean Terry Manis, Dean of the Hankamer School of Business, will now come forward to assist. Terry.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Business Administration degree please rise? On behalf of the faculty and staff of the Hankamer School of Business, I congratulate you on your accomplishments as evidenced by your participation in these ceremonies this afternoon. Will you please come forward to receive your degree? Karen Laura Ann Adams. Heather Elizabeth Aguiar. Brent Parker Alford. Brent Shannon Amos. Jill Suzanne Anderson.
Georgiana Ann Aguiano. Anna Cecilia Avendano Pacheco. Margie S. Babbage. Amanda Elise Baker. Leona Ann Baludi. Mark Scott Baldwin. Tara Susan Ballantyne, magna cum laude. Brandon DeYoung Barron. William Brian Barton. Brian Barrett Bateman. Diana Renee Baugh. Matthew Wayne Bayless. Sega Fakudu Balu. Kevin Wells Belknap. Greta Lynn Benish. Jimmy Berg. Brandon Lane Bernard. Catherine Elizabeth Blair. Karen Elaine Blake. Travis James Blakesley. Bradley Carl Blum. Emily Elizabeth Bach. Stephanie Dwayne Bolton. Daryl Edward Boudreau. Richard E. Borland. Jennifer Lynn Box, magna cum laude. Jason Wade Branch, summa cum laude. Chelsea Elaine Brown. Sandra Renee Brown. Stephen Wayne Brown. Susan Nicole Buxton. Wendy Nicole Bird. Trevor James Callaghan. Casey Quentin Carlisle. Larry Paul Carlson, Jr. Joanna Rose Carlton, cum laude. Ashley Lynn Carroll, summa cum laude. Shay Michelle Cash. Salvador Danielle Castaneda. Louis Daniel Catalan, Jr. Elizabeth Lee Cole. Sean Renee Collins. Scott Michael Conine. Shelley Don Contreras. Amy Deshawn Conway. J. Wayne Cooper, magna cum laude. John David Couch. Douglas Nuedo Cowan. Jared Lee Craighead. Laura Virginia Croson. John Michael Bagnan III. Jason Christopher Daniels. Jason Patrick Darling. Matthew Russell Davidson. Jonathan Andrew Davis. Matthew Keith Davis, summa cum laude, honors program graduate. Brandon Joel Dean, cum laude. Kevin Michael Deaton. Kimberly Denise DeFries. Sarah Beth Dinsman. Priscilla Diaz. Christina Lee Dillion. Chaley Lynn Dinwiddie. David Brian Depkin. Cody Heath Donan. Frederick John Drott. Catherine Elizabeth Dugan, cum laude. Robert Christopher Duncan. Jeffrey William Early. Warren Taylor Edwards. Christopher Martin Ekram. Virginia Grace Elkins. Brent Ryan Elrod. Bryce Peter Erickson. Tara Nicole Irvin. Danielle Christine Fauché, magna cum laude. Cindy Ferrer. Margaret Carey Fisher, summa cum laude, highest ranking student in the School of Business, graduating with a 4.0 GPA. Michael James Ford. Erica Lee Foreman. Christopher Thomas Foster. Matt Howard Foster. Leah Danielle Frazier. John Dawson Freiling. Rashad Vance Gambrell. Carter Charles Gans. Cicely Strand Gentry. Christy Lynn George. Brian F. Gerard. Natalie Nicole Gibson. Charles David Gilmore. Leslie Scott Yin. Lee Tucker Goforth, magna cum laude. Nathan Bartley Golick. Michael Lynn Green. Jill Alicia Greeny. Ilka Jennifer Gregory. Patrick Dean Gregory. Sunday Elizabeth Grinda. Matthew Presley Griffin. Randall Joseph Gello. Philip Wayne Hassler. Sean Wade Hatter. Scott Jason Hatter. Danielle Marie Hurd. Stacy Lee Hess. Landis Oni Hill. Abigail Lynn Holmes. Carmela Elizabeth Hooks. Christopher Ryan Howell. John Ho Wang. Olivia Lynn Hudson. Michael Craig Hull. Kyle John Hurst. Brownwyn Paige Hayden. Paige Elizabeth Ingram. Russell Wood Ingram III. William Edward Irvin. Marshall Day Jackson. Mary Catherine Lois Jackson. Brian Stephen Jacob. Michael James Jarrett. Murray Alden Johnson III. Amy Conway John. Amanda Allison Jones. Jamie Yvonne Jones. Andrew Paul Junis. Kelsey Ann Cardinal. Darren Martin Kirscher. Don Theodore Kirstein III. Laura Beth Kitts. Kevin Lee Climbera. Claire Elaine Koch. Kevin Christopher Kronbach. Joshua Edward Kukliowski. Blake Edward Lambert. Lori Ann Leonarduzzi. Joshua Dawson Lyles. Lai King Lim. Isaac C. Liu. William Doran Love II. Bonnie Jean Lowry. Carrie Lynn Luthen, Mark Lewis Lynn, Michael Dennis Lyons, summa cum laude, Jennifer Elise Manby, Perla Karina Marr, Christopher Meyer Martin, Joshua K. Martin, Lyle Cameron Mason, Stephen Douglas Mason, Cameron Anthony Matthews, Zachary Charles McCauley, Scott Allen McCurdy, William Bradley McDaniel, Rachel Ann McKellar, Matthew Ruffin McKinney, Marshall Wayne McSpadden, Sean Frederick McWilliams, Robert Willis Means, Andrew Michael Meek, Chang Hung Mai, Laura Elizabeth Mendoza, Gregory Eugene Menifee, Monica Louise Miles, Jerry Allen Miller, Michael Peyton Millinor, Jed M. Maloud, Matthew Garrett Mitchell, Herbert Ray Moffitt, Jr., Richard Timothy Molina, Jeremy Keith Montoya, Carl William Moore IV, David Michael Moore, Jr., Neil Patrick Moore, Mary Carolyn Morris, Sarah Ellen Nash, Grant Jordan Nations, Christian Meredith Nelly, Johnny Nero III, cum laude, Lindsay Noel Newman, William Shane Nolan, Chandralyn Gale Norman, Gwendolyn Lee Norman, Brett David Norwich, Craig Russell Odell, Jennifer Nicole Odom, cum laude, William Boyce Oliver, Brooke Suzanne Olivo, Lori Ann Osborne, Samuel Yoon Osei, David Joseph Ottenbright, Jason Allen Owens, James Harold Palmer, Valerie Elizabeth Palmquist, Evangelia G. Pappas, James Scott Parkman, Nancy Ann Payne, Jeffrey Paul Pekachik, Jennifer Rebecca Pegg, Christopher Cameron Penny, Lee Ann Perry, John Daniel Peterson, Tara Lee Phelps, Jamie Lynn Phillips, Robert Jason Pierce, John Arthur Pender, Jr., Amanda Sue Polisek, Deanne Lynn Porfiro, Christopher Jake Posey, Jana Ruth Poston, Anna Maria Preciado, Shannon Diane Price, Michael Paul Quirin, Michael Paul Roquette, Eric Gunther Reinhardt, Robert Raines, Shannon Lee Rimke, Larry Wayne Richardson, Jr. Todd Casey Riggins. Jennifer Kirkendall Roberts. Keb Ron Roberts. Kimberly K. Robinson. Tasha Ann Rochelle. Christopher Eric Roos. Charles Michael Rosselli. Ryan David Runyon. Ryan Kyle Rutledge. Lynette Carol Rylander, cum laude. Christina Marie Salinas. Edward Sanchez Grimaldo. Melina Deshawn Sanders. Stephanie Sean Shell. Peter William Snellhart. Virginia Schroeder. Anthony P. Schubridge. Kristen Lee Scott. Susan Carol Seago, summa cum laude. Charlotte Amelia Seward. Catherine Ann Shaw. Jennifer Kimberly Sheets. Howard Ho Shin. Gregory Raymond Shepard. Rebecca Lynn Shuck. Jeremy Daniel Skaggs. Robert Brian Sloan III. Celie Caroline Smith, summa cum laude. Stephen Lewis Smith. Tamara Bell Smith. Michael Allen Stacy. Christine Lee Steinke. Sarah Elizabeth Stevens. Ryan Paul Stone. James Thomas Story IV. Jason Trevor Suggs. Nicholas Robert Sarek. Emily Christine Suttles. Brett Robert Sweeney. Aaron Allen Switzer. Peter A. Talasag III. John Ty Tatum. Kimberly Lawana Tatum. Leslie Elise Thacker, magna cum laude. Jennifer Lee Thomas. Kyle William Thompson. Stephen Lee Thompson. Amy L. Thornton. Laura Jo Thornton. Randolph Hutomo Puter Chayano. Michael Anthony Tom. Con Kong Tron. Jennifer Suzanne Trischel. Kendra Dawn Tucker. Patrick Aaron Turner. Angela Pearl Tyler. Jennifer Pauline Tyler, summa cum laude. Abel Velasquez, Jr. Thomas Buchanan Visage III. William David Vorlich. Lauren Elise Waddell. Weston Lee Wakefield. Benjamin Jacob Ward. Jason Andrew Warden. Rebecca Lee Wiedemeyer. Russell K. Weir. Damon Murray Wellborn. James Stephen Whipple. Seth Hadley White. Derek Lawson Whittington. Lily Marlene Wilbur. Heather Hahn Wilburn, magna cum laude. David Dwight Wilcox. Christina K. Williams, cum laude. Eric Stephen Williams. Michael B. Williams. Brandon Gregory Wilmore. Jeffrey James Wilson. Patrick Reginald Winsey. Kaylee Renee Winters. Scott Aaron Womack. Benjamin James Yarish. Keith Justin Yawn. Lyris Colette Yee. Stephen Gerard Yervasi, magna cum laude. Michael Schroeder Yoakum. Ray Thomas Young. Christian George Zamber. Ricardo Antonio Zarek.
Yesterday, I had the privilege of being at a very special set of ceremonies in Dallas at the Baylor University School of Nursing. We broke ground. We had a groundbreaking ceremony for an expansion and renovation of the building, and then also I got to participate in some of the pinning ceremony that took place on that occasion. This is a wonderful group, and you're going to enjoy seeing them graduate. Dean Carnes, will you please come forward?
Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Nursing please stand? Once again, it's my distinct pleasure on behalf of my faculty to extend to you our deepest congratulations on your accomplishment. Please come forward and receive your degrees. Kristen Michelle Baskin. Heather Leanne Campbell. Angela Charisse Cheatham, cum laude. Carrie Ann Christensen. Sarah Kathleen Clooney. Colleen Ray Collins. Heather Elizabeth Cuevas, Honors Program graduate, cum laude. Jennifer Renee Davis. Lauren Kathleen Donnelly. Matthew Wayne Doyle. Leanne Dewey. Jennifer Christine Engel. Rebecca Birch Estes. John Anthony Fleming. Jeanette Lynn Gutierrez. Emily Clarice Hargrave. Nicole Shamoka Harrison. Jamie Lynn Hebert. Shannon Renee Hensley. Felicia Elizabeth High. Kevin Ann Hughes. Damon Vashon Jackson. Rebecca Jean Jones. Anna Elaine Kent. Farah Marie Laster. Natalie Stevens Lindgren. Elizabeth Hope McFarline. Rita I. Martinez. Shannon Catherine Rogers McCrary. Erin Everett Mitchke. Andrea Michelle Payne. Katrina Ann Pennington. Dina Marie Phillips, Jacqueline Renee Pinkston, Rachel Dawn Posednik, Jill Marcio Rayhill, Lydia Ann Rosenberger, Mona Lisa Ruiz, Jennifer Elizabeth Shallis, Tracy Gernhardt Lynn Schaub, Helen Huo Shou, Evelyn L. Spivey, Famisha W. Stevens, Jessica Faye Stokes, Donna Marie Thomas Tate, Chindavan Toy Vangsavath, Catherine Amelia Louise Walker, cum laude.
This time I want to invite Dr. Jimmy Williamson, the acting dean of the School of Education, to join me now to assist in the diploma ceremony for graduates in the School of Education. But before we begin, I would be remiss if I did not say a word of thanks to Dean Williamson, who has so unselfishly served the School of Education for the last 2 years as acting dean, while the school was actively involved in a search for a new dean. Dr. Williamson deferred an 8-month sabbatical leave not once but twice when he was tapped for this duty. Jimmy, thank you for your leadership of the School of Education during this important time in its life. We appreciate so much your sacrifices on behalf of Baylor and on behalf of the School of Education. Dean Williamson.
Thank you very much. Would candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in Education please stand? On behalf of the faculty of the School of Education, it's my pleasure to present these 166 outstanding women and men who will soon be pursuing careers in either teaching, health, human performance, recreation, or some other aspect of human service. It's my pleasure to invite you now to come to the platform to receive your diploma. Amanda Kelly Ackerback, Sandra E. Adams, Casey Deshawn Alley, Alfred Anthony Anderson, Chessa Ray Anderson, summa cum laude, Heather Armstrong, Holly Kathleen Arrett, Sylvia Amanza Ashley, Deborah Nicole Ayers, Chandrea Lene Bailey, Brenda K. Baker, Stacy Renee Bartosh, Regan Michelle Batchelor, magna cum laude, Amy Larissa Bauer, Sharon Lee Beatty, Laura Margaret Bender, Jason Ward Blacklock, Connie Lynn Blevins, Stephanie Autumn Ballum, Heather Renee Braddon, Haley D. Bradley, Mindy Lynn Brown, Anne Christine Buford, Erin Annette Burns, Kawani Dante Burton, Elizabeth Byers, cum laude, Camille Merrill Carr, Heather Ann Cavazos, Christy Amanda Colvin, summa cum laude, Christy Ann Christensen, Caroline Dawn Clem, Jamie Kathleen Cochran, Tanya Elizabeth Corbett, Melinda Ann Crouch, Laura Lynn Rose Davis, cum laude, Melanie Deanne Davis, Trent Tippleton DeBerry, Stephanie Wanani Dennison, Tammy Ruth Dwight, Amy Patricia Edwards, Anwin Mary Egerton, Emily Carol Everhart, cum laude, Jose Santos Paz, Jr., Anna Jean Flores, Jill Elizabeth Flowers, Sarah Jane Gubritson, Sherry Ann Gibson, Carolyn Ray Gilbert, Laura Deanne Gilbert, Kelly Ann Gilbertson, Joe Michelle Gerard, Laura Ann Greer, Amanda Carey Gruder, Ashley Wade Gross, Heather Louise Grounds, Brandy Malena Gruel, Jamie Rochelle Haldeman, Melissa Marie Harden, Julie Ann Henniger, William Taylor Henry Jr., summa cum laude, Gilda Monica Hernandez, Tammy Lee Hill, magna cum laude, Jennifer Lynn Hillgartner, Laura Beth Holmes, Lisa Michelle Huff, Lori Gail Hughes, Anne Marie Hurlbut, Stephanie Lynn Apima, Elizabeth Ann Ishii, Catherine Cecile Jarrett, Jennifer Carlin Jenkins, cum laude, Heather Deanne Johnson, Jennifer Julia, cum laude, Elizabeth Ann Kay, Cara Elizabeth Keeney, cum laude, Robert A. Knight, Angela Maria Cusera, cum laude, Carl Hagel LaCroix, Mary Courtney Land, Carrie Jo Langley, Jamie Suzanne Leno, Amy Cosette Lichtig, Lydia Denise Lopez, Lacey Cattell Lotz, Angela Denise Lutke, Heather Lee McHugh, Stephanie Dawn Marshall, Sarah Elizabeth Mays, Erica Beth McCarty, Brenda Ann McCombs, Sherry Lynn Mercer, Kirsten Lynn Miller, Allison Ann Mitchell, Heather Denise Lee Ney, Brian Stephen Newberry, Jennifer R. O'Hara, Bonnie Mae Oak, Julie Ann Parsons, magna cum laude, Judy Linnell Parton, magna cum laude, Craig Victor Pizzante, Sandra Lorraine Pickens, Timothy Andrew Pope, Susan Jean Popolarski, magna cum laude, Heather Renee Potts, magna cum laude, Kristen Lynette Purdy, Chara Arana Quinelli, Jennifer Lynn Ramsey, Christiana Marie Randall, John Lauren Redmond, Casey Richard Reeves, cum laude. Noelle Elizabeth Reimer. Kelly Wynn Reisman. Rochelle Lee Richard. Mia Bianca Riojas. Lana Renee Roberson. Jennifer H. Robbins. Kimberly Dawn Scheller. Kimberly Leanne Schimmer. Melanie Ann Scudder. Cynthia Abbott Segura. Catherine Elizabeth Sherman, cum laude. Allison Tony Sim. Kristen Michelle Smith, cum laude. Marcy Helen Snyder, magna cum laude. Christiana Elizabeth Spahn. Monica Michelle Stamps. Nakisha Laketa Steele. W. Douglas Stockton. Christy Michelle Straight. James T. Stroder. Allison Renee Swatzel. Shelley Lynn Swinbank. Tanya Gina Tavares. Angela Gail Tier. Lee Ann Tidwell, cum laude. Kevin C. Triplett. Kimberly Lynn Upchurch. Jenny Maria Vargas. Erin Holly Rittenauer Wagner. Carol Ann Walker. Stephanie K. Waller. Whitney Rebecca Washington. Melissa Ann Waters. Shelley Louise West. Lisa Lee Watley. Amanda Afton White. Stacy Tennille Whitlock. Jessica Suzanne Williams. Rebecca Rayanne Williams. Jennifer Michelle Wilson, summa cum laude, highest ranking student in the School of Education. Teresa K. Wolf. Victoria Jane Wolfram, summa cum laude. Jill Suzanne Womack. Jane Allison Turner Wood. Ruthie Wright. Adrienne DeJong Young. Amy Chattel Jamanic.
This time I'd like to ask, again, our provost to come forward to assist in the presentation of the various master's degrees awarded through the graduate school. Dr. Schmeltikoff.
Will the candidates for the various master's degrees awarded through the graduate school please rise? President Sloan, the students standing before us have moved to the next level of academic accomplishment. These candidates have completed all requirements, including theses, internships, or final projects for the various master's degrees as printed in the commencement program. Upon the recommendation of the graduate faculty and Dean Powers, I present them for their degree conferrals.
Based upon the recommendation of our provost, Dr. Don Schmeltikoff, Dean Powers, and the graduate faculty, and their certification that each of you has completed the requirements for your respective degree. I'm pleased and privileged by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of Baylor University to confer your master's degrees. Congratulations. I would like to ask Dean Powers, please, at this time to come forward. And again, I must say something in public in terms of appreciation to one of our dedicated faculty members for service to the university and to the graduate school in this case, above and beyond the call of duty. Dean Powers has been the acting dean of the graduate school for the past 18 months. All the while, he has continued his responsibilities as chair of the Department of Physics and as director of the Institute for Biomedical Studies. On June 1st, Dr. Larry Lyon, who has served with Dr. Powers as the acting associate dean, will assume responsibilities as the new dean of the graduate school. But Darden, we simply must say today how grateful we are to you for all that you have done for the graduate school, for the students of Baylor University, and I say to you personally, a deep word of appreciation for all that you have done. Thank you for your valuable service during this transition period.
The various master's degrees bestowed this afternoon cover 13 areas and constitute the completion of a minimum of 30 to 36 hours of graduate work with or without a thesis. These students have spent anywhere from 1 to 2 or more years to complete their degree. Will the candidates for the various master's degrees please come forward to receive your diploma? The following candidates are for the Master of Music degree: Gregory Allen Apple, Joel Andrew Bacon, Janet Elaine Boyce, Vanessa Ray Hasbrook, Emily Allison Helvering, Dennis Wayne Hobson, George Robert McTire, Simona Bogomolova-Popova, John Eugene Hans Schmidt, Paula Marie Thomas. The following is the Master of Business Administration and International Management, Marketa Halova. The following is Master of Taxation, Thomas Robert Sanders. Master of Business Administration and Bachelor of Business Administration, Andrea Jo Hill. Heather Leah Jenkins, summa cum laude. Michelle Marie Coster. Bradley E. Lale, cum laude. Master of Business Administration, Ashley Ann Odom. Ciro A. Alvarado. Alan Paul Auger. Pablo Mauricio Dulan. John Milton Gillis, Jr. Alice Marie Gonzalez. Hui Gu. Ang Samalan Fatarungrong. Kent Ned Reapy. Frank Hongfeng Zhang. Master of Science in Nursing, Kathy Johnson Lamford. Daphne Parker McGavick. Lisa Marie Otto. Linda Perry Simmons. Master of Science in Education, John Williams Choins. Gregory Roy Cowan. Shannon Mill DeWolf, Doris J. Dixon Lopez, Laura Anderson Green, Dinah Wyatt Hoffman, Robert Lee Holman III, Andrea Suzanne King, Krista K. Lutens, Heather Michelle Reck, Callista Ann Reynolds, Brandy Michelle Snow, Cheryl Ann Stewart, David Blake Sweeten, Karen Denise Talton, Andrea Lorraine Williams, William Scott Wright,
Well, I can understand parents turning back flips over graduation. Will the individual who did that backflip please know that I've got your diploma here? Seems to have come out of the cylinder. You can pick it up from Chief Doak. At this time, we have the opportunity to present Master of Divinity degrees. And again, I ask for our provost to assist in this presentation.
Will the candidates for the Master of Divinity degree please rise? President Sloan, these students have completed all requirements for the Master of Divinity degree. Upon the recommendation of the faculty of Truett Seminary and Dean Creed, I am pleased to present them for their degree conferrals.
Based upon the recommendation of Dr. Schmeltikoff, Dean Creed, and the seminary faculty, and their certification that each of you has completed the requirements for your degree, I'm pleased and privileged by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of Baylor University to confer upon you the degree Master of Divinity. Congratulations. It's very unfortunate that Dean Creed fell ill this day and simply was, in spite of his best efforts, unable to be here this afternoon. But we are pleased not only to present these diplomas to you, but to wish to you God's very best as you go forth to work in the world, a world that needs school teachers, a world that needs professionals, a world that needs people such as yourself who will preach the gospel of our Lord. Would you please come forward at this time? Professor Ruth Ann Foster, who received one of the Outstanding Faculty Awards today and who is one of the very first professors at George W. Truett Theological Seminary, will read the names and assist in the presentation.
Brent Webb Beasley. Chad Rogene Chaddock. Terry Cecil Jackson. Sung Yin Park. Michael Craig Reynolds. Daniel J. Terry.
And again, I call upon our provost to assist in the presentation of doctoral degrees.
Will the candidates for the Doctor of Education degree please rise? The Doctor of Education degree is the highest earned degree for a professional in education. This degree is an American tradition which goes back to the early 1900s. President Sloan, the students standing before us have completed all requirements for the Doctor of Education degree. Upon the recommendation of the graduate faculty and Dean Powers, I present them for the conferral of their degrees.
Based upon the recommendation of Dr. Schmeltikoff, Dean Powers, and the graduate faculty, and their certification that each of you has completed the requirements for the degree Doctor of Education, I am pleased and privileged by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of Baylor University to confer upon each of you the degree Doctor of Education. Congratulations. Please come forward.
Carl Lee Hoffmeyer, Doctor of Education. Edna Anita Maxwell, Doctor of Education. Linda Corbell Scarpa, Doctor of Education. Linda Loftus Tobias, Doctor of Education. Linda K. Bogus, Doctor of Education.
Something tells me that you would enjoy one more time congratulating all of our graduates today. Graduates, I know that I can speak because I know the quality of people you are. I know that I can speak on your behalf to say, on your behalf, thank you to all the people here today and in other places who've made this day possible for you, and thank you to the faculty and staff of Baylor University. This time I'd like to invite Dr. Ray Burchett, who's the Executive Vice President of the Baylor Alumni Association, to welcome these new graduates of Baylor University.
Thank you, President Sloan. Governor and Mrs. Bush, welcome to the Baylor Alumni Association. We're delighted to have you. And to all of those who have graduated, congratulations. Everything comes to an end, even Seinfeld, so congratulations on your graduation. And for those of you as parents who supported them, we thank you very much. It's been delightful to have them. Your Alumni Association would like to help you stay in touch with Baylor University, which I think will become more important as the years go by, and also keep you in touch with your friends wherever you go. You can do that in many ways. You can contact us at www.com/Sick'emBears. We'll be glad to hear from you. You can do it by email. You can do it by fax, or if you're as technically handicapped as I am, just use the phone. But we would love to hear from you. And if you find yourself in a strange new city, we have well over 1,000 Baylor graduates who have said that at any time they would be glad for you to call them, and they'll help you find your way around. So if you find yourself in a strange place, give us a call. We'll help you get connected. We very much would like for you to be a member of the Alumni Association. Membership for a year is $40, but we understand how hard it is to get started. So we'll offer you a deal. We'll give you 3 years for one. And if you can only write one more check on your parents, write that one today, and we'll be glad to have you as a member. Welcome you back this homecoming, when we will dedicate our new Alumni Center, Your Home Away from Home. Please do come back to see us. As we always say, the Dr. Pepper's in the icebox. Thank you.
Well, Dr. Burchett has just invited you back to the campus and, of course, to homecoming. But before you get very far away at all, I'd like to invite you to take the opportunity even today to say farewell to teachers and friends as you leave the Farrell Center today. Now, however, please stand for the benediction and then the singing of the line.
Please pray with me. Father, thank you for the opportunity to gather today in celebration of the graduation of these young women and men. Give them the desire to seek your path and the courage to follow it as they begin the next phase of their journey in life. Thank you for this great Christian institution. We pray for your continued blessings on her. Most of all, Lord, we thank you for your Son, Jesus, and it's in his most precious and holy name that we pray. Amen.